everyone, and welcome to this week's Sports Outlet. I'm your host today, Ellie Schuckman, and I'm joined here by Mike Jozwiak to talk about the NHL. The hockey season is well underway, and today we're going to discuss what we've seen so far and what we can expect to see for the rest of the season. Let's get it started. Mike, my discussion question for you is this. What has been the biggest surprise and disappointment so far this season?
Well, we'll start with my biggest surprise, and I think you'll agree with me. It's the Montreal Canadiens, just how well they've gotten off to a start this season. They were 9-0. They just lost their first game, but they're still 9-1, which is an incredible record. They're well on top of the Eastern Conference, and this is just a team that's offensively looked really, really good. Andrei Markov, who, like I said, he's like 40-something years old. He's up there. He's up there in age. He's got 10 points. He's got a goal. He's got 9 assists. Subban's he's got 10 points as well. Same thing as Markov, 1 goal, 9 assists. And the goaltender for them has been really good, and it's just everything early on seems to be clicking on all
absolutely.
cylinders.
For a team like that, it's rare. You don't see teams start off that well, and for them to be this hot this early on is definitely a good sign for them.
Yeah, and my biggest disappointment so far has been the Anaheim Ducks. This is a team that offensively they just can't seem to get anything going right now. Corey Perry, who's their best offensive player, has no goals right now. He's got 2 assists. He's only got 2 points right now. And this looks like a team that can't seem to get anywhere right now.
Yeah, you need your top players to deliver if you're going to have any shot moving along. And for me, one of the biggest surprises was the Pittsburgh Penguins play so far. You need your star, Sidney Crosby, to deliver, and he got off to a really slow start. He went 5 games without a point. He has picked it up a little bit now, but if they want to make a long run, they definitely need their top guys.
Yeah, this is a team like I was talking to you about earlier. This is a team that with Sidney Crosby, with Marc-Andre Fleury, with all the other pieces they have in Pittsburgh, you don't quite expect them to get off to that slow of a start. So it'll be interesting to see how they pick it up. And kind of going off the Pittsburgh Penguins, another surprise for me has been how the Metropolitan Division has played, how everyone's kind of in the mix there. The Devils, which I didn't expect much out of this year.
Yeah, I didn't either. So
yeah,
to see them
they got on a nice winning streak. They're right in the middle of things. The Flyers, they're currently leading the wild card right now. The Rangers, you know what they are. They're playing well. The Islanders are playing well. This is a division that, I think it's going to be very competitive and very fun to watch.
I think so, too, especially as we get deeper into the season. It's going to be really interesting to see how they all bring in what happens.
It's home of very good rivalries. Devils, Rangers are good. Rangers, Islanders is starting to really pick up again. It's going to be really fun.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, so let's move right along to our second discussion question. Mike, what's your question for me?
Okay, Ellie. With the start of the season, new rules were implemented. There's now a 3-on-3 overtime. Coaches can challenge calls, and video replay has been expanded. Are these changes beneficial, or will they negatively impact the game?
I think overall they're really beneficial. The league is trying to advance as we've seen MLB start to implement those video replays. They're trying to keep up, and I think I said, overall, I think we're really going to see them in the long run make a difference. The one thing I'm not too big on is the 3-on-3 overtime. Taking those players off the ice, and then let's say, for instance, if a penalty is called, then you're going to have 4-on-3 or 5-on-3. Players will be added instead of in the penalty box. I think that's a little strange. They're trying to move away from the game heading to shootouts, which I get. I'm not totally big on them, but I just don't know how well the 3-on-3 overtime is really going to work in the long run. So that, for me at least, is definitely going to be
that's definitely very interesting how they're going to do that. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of, because again, like you said, with penalties, stuff like that, it's a little bit of a weird setup. Not to mention, if it's 3-on-3, you're possibly taking some really good players off the ice, and that's what the fans want. As for the other rule changes, I'm a fan of them. I like it. I think the big thing fans want is to get the calls right, is just make sure you get the right call, and it seems like they're moving toward that, and I like that all sports are really starting to move toward that.
Same here, and I think I also really like is that if even if a team doesn't have their timeout left, if it's the final minute of the game, the officials themselves can start to call plays for certain, to see the video replays of them, which I think is going to be really good, again, to try to get those calls right all the time.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more.
All right. Awesome, and that'll do it for our first segment. We'll be right back with a rapid fire round. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Sports Outlet, where we're going to start our rapid fire round. We'll go back and forth asking each other 3 questions, each in less than 30 seconds. Let's start with Mike. Which player is the most important for their team, where if they got hurt, the team overall would lose the most?
I have 2 guys in mind. My first one is Patrick Kane with the Blackhawks. I think we just saw it last year. When he was out, the Blackhawks were a completely different team. When he came back for the playoff runs, they were amazing. They were incredible. And my other guy is Henrik Lundqvist for the Rangers. We know how we've seen it. We know how important he is for that team. And now, especially with the lack of a good backup goalie, I think it makes him even more important.
Yeah, we've seen that last year. When Lundqvist went out for all those games, Talbot was there to back him up. He's not there anymore. You need solid goaltending, so it's going to be interesting to see if that comes up, how that factors in.
Okay. Ellie, the Montreal Canadiens have yet to lose a game this season, and we're off to a 9-0 start. What can you attribute their success to, or will their luck simply run out soon?
I think overall, looking at the players that they have, that they're in it for the long haul this season. Yeah, they got out to that 9-0 start. They just lost last night, but they've trailed for less than 3 minutes for most of the season. They've had incredible goaltending so far, and that's going to back up any team. They have the right players. They have guys scoring. They're not giving up much, but they're gaining a lot. They've been able to get out to that early lead, really establish themselves, and I think overall that's going to really benefit them as we head into the season more.
This is a team that played very well in the playoffs last year. They gave the Rangers a good run at it.
Yep.
And this looks they look a lot better this year, I think, than last year. So it'll be a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, for your second question, which team that has missed the playoffs have the best chance of making it?
I'm going to be very bold here. I'm going to say the Oilers. I think it's just their time. They have had so many number one picks. They've had so many high draft picks. Connor McDavid, who we're going to talk about a little later, he's been really good. I think that'll be enough to put them over the edge. I think they can finally make the playoffs.
Yeah, no, McDavid, you definitely can't count him out. He's gotten off to an incredible start so far, and we'll see how the Oilers as a whole really respond to him being there now.
I think there's just too much young talent there for them not to win.
Yeah.
All right, Ellie, for your second question, Don Tortorella just signed a 3-year contract with the Blue Jackets. Being out of the NHL for a year and with his past high-profile antics, was this a smart move for Columbus?
For right now, I'm saying yes. Tortorella has proven himself in the past. He's a guy that will get the players' attention. He's not afraid to get in your face and really call them out on whatever's happening. They got off to a horrible start, the Blue Jackets, and sometimes, unfortunately, it's the coach that takes the blame for that. So, Tortorella has now been out of the league for over a year. Maybe he just needed that time off to really refresh, take a look at the league, and get back into things. So, I think for now, it was the right move. Hopefully, he keeps his cool, though, and it'll suit them well.
I'm not completely sold on this move. I mean, he has his one Stanley Cup, but really outside of that, what has he won? I mean, he had a nice little run with the Rangers, but they've had some really good players there too. I'm not completely sold on this move yet.
We'll see how it plays in.
Yep.
So, Mike, for your last question, which team that has made the playoffs last year has the best chance of missing it this year?
Well, we talked about them earlier, but I think it's Calgary. I think their goaltending has just been absolutely awful, and if there's one thing a good team needs is good goaltending to make a good run into the playoffs. They kind of just snuck in last year, so if they keep playing the way they are right now, I think they'll definitely miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there 100%.
And last question here for you, Ellie. Heading into the season, there was a lot of hype surrounding top prospect Connor McDavid. Has he been able to deliver, and can the Oilers be a legitimate threat this year?
We just talked about it a little while ago, but I think he can. He's a young guy. He's only 18 years old. He has speed, he has skill, and he's been able to deliver. I mean, he in 9 games, he already has 5 goals. He's really bringing it for them, and I think overall, Oilers needed those young players to really go to them. They now have Talbot, great goaltender with the Rangers last year. They have the right pieces. I don't know that they'll make the playoffs this year. You can't just go from being the worst in the league to the best overnight, but they're definitely taking a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a bold pick. I think they can do it, though. I think if this kid keeps it up, he's got all the tools to be one of the greats, and they have a lot of good young players. They have Talbot there now. I think they have a shot. They can definitely compete. I know that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do it for our rapid fire round and for our show today. Thanks for tuning in to the Sports Outlet, and I hope that we see you again next time. In the meantime, if you're interested in joining LTV, like us on Facebook or email us at ltv@tcnj.edu. For Lions Television, I'm here with Mike Jozwiak, and I'm Ellie Schuckman. Have a good one.